today for Road Call. Let's try that one more time. Greetings, one, greetings, all. This is Wednesday Night Undressed. I am Louis Orlando, in real life, Louis Walton. We have with us Mr. Fernando Lafort.
Hello.
And together sharing a single camera is Ivo and Alena Ivanov.
Hello.
Awesome. Hey guys, I wanted to start off the show with what the most weird thing that has happened to me in a very, very long time, which is last week, Nana and I were asked to help a friend create a porn publishing company. And it was asked.
And by the way, thank you so much for responding positively to this.
I was about to ask the name of the friend. Who is that?
Well, it's just one of those things that like I never ever actually think about as being like a legitimate business. And so when the person asked, the person asked me, but he asked if we would be interested in being a part of this startup, and it was something that was hilarious in the first place, but then it's no, he's serious. And so I came home obviously and told Nana, and she thought it was hilarious too. And so we have just been thinking up weird porno scenes as potential movie themes and things like that. But there's a lot of Fernando and I were talking before the podcast started just about shadiness surrounding the porn industry. So I'm curious, if you guys were looking at presuming that the porn that you would be shooting is legal and all that other stuff, is it something that you could, I mean, not necessarily being an actor, but just being involved with the company, is it something you could do?
Yeah, I guess it would depend on whether or not I'm 100% sure everything's being done ethically and everybody wants to be involved via their own agency, or that they're not necessarily being, because I would be concerned about people being financially taken advantage of as actors.
Yeah.
And that would be something, but I guess if I'm working on the outside of it and I know that everything's being done ethically, I would feel fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now is probably the worst time to, well, not the worst. The worst was probably in the 80s because of the AIDS epidemic.
Right.
But it's not a very good time right now to invest in a startup in the porn industry, considering the COVID-19 situation, all the legal work that has to be put together,
right?
The scaffolding of such business. The legal scaffolding will be very complicated. You have to factor in lots of variables, and frankly, a lot of them unpredictable.
Right.
Other than that, the porn industry has proven itself to be legitimate. It's kind of a dichotomy, because on one level, starting a porn, business right now is complicated. But the already established porn sites, because of the COVID-19, were flourishing,
right,
and prospering and making crazy money. So I don't know. It's a dichotomy, as I said. It's all probably good for sites, big porn sites. What are they? Louis asking for a friend. What are those sites?
Well, there is the Pornhub, and Pornhub is the owner of probably everything. Different names. Yeah. But that's the aggregator of the porn. There's actual separate production companies that either cater to a specific kind of movie or just make lots of different movies. Go ahead.
Yeah, we kind of know somebody that's relatively independent. Is that even possible, or is that part of Twitch or something?
Oh, well, Twitch is a different thing.
Twitch is the video game stuff, right?
Yeah. But a lot of independent actors
Mm-hmm.
in the porn
Right.
business they piggyback on Twitch,
Mm-hmm.
and
Really?
because it's it allows them, and I'm not using an euphemism here, a kind of a backdoor into. I'm gonna be doing, but it allows them to kind of get to a younger audience, male audience that
Jeez.
pretends to be playing video games. Pretends to be playing video games. Apparently, if you are playing video
Wow.
games but you're naked, it's allowed, or is that not true?
I don't know how. I mean, and Twitch is like live streaming,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I don't know how it actually works, but they also have like OnlyFans, which is like subscription live streaming.
But we're talking about
But-
solo action,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like that was one of the things that like came up in just like discussions, like how does the social media integration work? Because like porn stars are like all over, not just Twitch, but you know, every platform you can name, you know, Instagram, just Twitter, TikTok, like literally they're everywhere. And so there was a question like, you know, is that part of the mechanism, or is that, like you said, just independent actors like going out and like essentially drumming up business for themselves? So Fernando and I, again, were talking. I don't mean to talk for you, Fernando, but Fernando brought up the mob connection. You want to speak to that?
Well, it's so when I read like the questions for the day, first thing that came in my mind say, hell no. Like if you see it's such a shade industry,
Mm-hmm.
and then I say, hold on a second. Like, what if like if you be a new studio on that business, like, and I mean, I bet there is several of them, like go, you know, more indie, less objectifying, pay people properly, show the, you know, real world, and something still, you know, sexy. Maybe it perhaps would be appealing, like, but at the same time, it's almost confronting mobs. This business is so shady. I saw a documentary. I almost think it was HBO. I'm trying to remember the name. I don't recall. We know, you know, and in the 80s, there was the Deep Throat, and there's that documentary about, I mean, it was pretty bad, and, you know, and then become the VCRs. But on the last, like, 20 years, this probably the Pornhub owners, they start to simulate, like, aggregating every studio. They have ownership on everything. You'd be great to have a thing a little more healthy and real life, and less shade, you know, like a different option, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess there's many compartments of this industry. There's the top, you know, the top brass, which operates out of skyscrapers, and has, you know, they have, I mean, their administration, they're legitimate businesses. They have a legitimate, you know, career actors and actresses that are unionized. I don't know if they're unionized, but I heard something like that. But and they have security measures. They make sure nobody's trafficked. You know, there's structure. They're in the valley. You know, in the valley in Los Angeles. They have studios and all that stuff. They participate in the AVN Awards, which are like the Oscars of the porn awards. I occasionally, as I browse the channels, I run on the Showtime broadcasts once a year, those AVN Awards, and I just tune in and laugh my head off, because the speeches are like a lifetime, you know, achievement award for like gangbang, you know, and you're watching this, and they're so proud, you know, the actors and actresses, they go out and thank their mothers, their producers, the Jesus, you know, and for all the hard work. And it's like the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
And they take it very, very seriously. It's a serious production. Sometimes major comedians are, you know, are in charge of the presentations. And so we have this part, but then we have the shady part, like Fernando mentioned. There's people that are trafficked, East European women trafficked, people like women from Asia, from the Philippines, from Thailand,
Well, from here,
underage,
From here,
drugged, kidnapped. You have that part of it. Then, how you make sure that you're not dragged into this side of the business if you're starting a new business. It's complicated. How are you going to find actors and actresses if the guy wants an investment from you guys of money or labor in the Kansas City area? That's complicated. Also consider this. Porn industry on the internet has been around since the beginning of the internet, right?
Right.
So there's probably from, just considering how the internet operates, I'm pretty sure that at this point, there's every imaginable niche has been filled, every imaginable bizarre fetish has been filled in, and there's sites that exist for everything. You can probably find like Lutheran German dwarfs sleeping, having sex with armadillos.
Are you looking at my bookmarks?
That's like that's like Rule 34. Rule 34 of the internet.
No.
It's like any
any
innocuous thing you could think of. There's probably like a porno on the internet involving that thing.
Yeah.
But like, I do think that there is a market for like, at least from people I've talked to that would prefer to not watch porn on Pornhub. That's like an aggregate site where you like scroll through, and you don't necessarily like. You might like scroll through things you don't really want to see, or not really looking for. And there are people that would like prefer being on a website that they like know is ethical, or that they like know it's not just like an aggregate website of a bunch of people that they don't necessarily know like the conditions these people are in.
Interesting.
I think there is a market for that.
Yeah, because the bottom line is like, if there was somebody that told me at this point that like they've never looked at porn, I would probably not trust that person. So it's just too ubiquitous to escape right now. So I would absolutely believe that there has to be a market for like ethically produced stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and if you were of a functioning age in the early 2000s or even the late 90s, do you remember when porn would just start popping up, like you click on an email link, and then it just pop-ups uncontrollably on your screen? There was no escape back then.
Right.
I don't know how they did away with this, but thank God.
Yeah, and like I think like that's like it would be nice to have like a little more healthy industry on that segment, because think about it, even though we have like or we're like already old, but think about people growing nowadays. You have just access, you browse one crap and then link to another crap, and the concept about what the reality is without the experience, what it bring you to, it route you to a direction that's unrealistic, and they enforce like abuse, and it's so unreal. I wish like there was like I hate to like be a Puritan. I hate censorship, but definitely like there is so much shadiness there, and I bet the actors and they get very low paid, and it's just bizarre shit, like it would be great if there is a more like healthy industry, just give the share like experience, show. I don't like the puritanism. Like I think people should not be shocked with like sexuality in general, like, and I mean there is so many options. It's just like how it's just pretty bizarre. I wish that the industry was in a better shape.
Yeah. it's interesting. We did not have pornography in Bulgaria, in East Europe, really during
Really?
during communism. There was no magazines. That stuff was banned. No videos, no stuff. Obviously, there was no really
There
video.
was a black market for sure.
There was probably a black market, but there was not even VHS tapes. I mean, all we had was movie theaters.
No
And
way, Ivo. There was in Cuba. How come Bulgaria didn't have those?
Cuba, maybe, I don't know. I mean, you probably could find magazines. I don't know, but
Well, I think
um,
Fernando's referring to the live shows from the documentary Godfather.
yeah, yeah, but no. So in the movie theaters, obviously, here in the States, there were porn movies shown in art houses and movie theaters.
Mm-hmm.
That was the pornography that existed here, and some of those had mainstream type of enjoyed mainstream following and big theatrical releases. And it's like Behind the Blue Door, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Caligula.
Caligula is always the first one that comes to mind for me.
Caligula
Epic.
is kind of soft porn, but
Yeah.
we had movies that had nudity, like just regular movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when the movies had nudity, everybody would go to those movies like, oh, did you see that? That was a naked person here in that movie, and it was a big deal. And then, but it's very interesting when the wall came down, when the Cold War was over and wall came down, it was like all this energy was like bottlenecked, and just the country went crazy. There were magazines, billboards of naked people in the city everywhere, newspapers. Every newspaper had a section of it that had naked women in it. Every freaking newspaper, even the mainstream newspapers, it was insane. It was like the country made like complete turn to the other side.
This also explains why you're so well read.
Exactly. Yeah. Playboy magazine immediately came in. Obviously, porn industry and all that stuff happened, but it was obviously an artificial what should we call it, a barrier, artificial barrier to something that's very normal intrinsic to human nature.
Uh-huh.
So it was interesting, but all of these diatribe, really, basically, my opinion and my advice would be, no, do not get in it. Not because it's immoral,
Mm-hmm.
not for any other reason. It's just because it's going to be very, very hard to break into the industry right now.
Right.
It's not like the pot industry right now, which is
Mhm.
very new, and there's a lot of openings on the market.
Right.
It's something that's already been so established, it's going to be impossible. And there's too many variables. You have to navigate the law carefully and all that stuff.
So I'm making note that Evo said wait 6 months.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Let's see. Next topic on my list of things to just throw out at you guys.
Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell. What's going on with Mitch McConnell?
Oh, he was wearing a beige suit. Did you see that?
Oh no! Is he going to be impeached?
No. It was the most shocking thing is that the people from National Geographic were in shock because that's the first time they saw a turtle wearing a suit. A beige suit. But no, Obama wore the same suit, the same color suit, and it was a big scandal.
I know. That's why I'm asking. Is Mitch going to face the same level of scrutiny?
Exactly. Yeah. It was so funny that 8 years of Obama, that was the big scandal,
Mm-hmm.
Now we are so immune to preposterous, impeachable offenses committed every single day that this seems like, something that happened in another life, in another universe.
So I have actually been avoiding the news is not exactly right. I've just been doing a lot of studying. So I'm only getting like bits and pieces of like what's going on in the world today. What is the story with the secret police? Like, what is that all about?
Oh, the police that are showing up at like protests.
Uh-huh. The federal officers.
Yeah. So yeah, they're like, from what I've heard, and I've like just read a few stories, and then also just seen like tweets mostly of people like in presumably
Oregon,
in the middle of protests. But it looks like they've been coming, and they were sent, the federal officers that were sent by the president, and they're showing up to larger cities that have ongoing protests and taking protesters off of the street into unmarked vehicles, then taking them to undisclosed locations. So not like they're being arrested and going to the police department where their family and friends can figure out where they are at and bail them out and try to, like, that is a location that nobody knows where it is but them.
Warehouse.
Like a warehouse. They're in the warehouse districts mostly.
And who are they? Are they National Guard?
Homeland Security. Homeland Security.
So that's basically the ICE people, right? It's the ICE staff.
No. Homeland Security was the department that was created right after 9/11. And Tom Ridge, remember Tom Ridge was the first Secretary of Homeland Security appointed by W. And their job was to protect the country from terrorists, from outside terrorists. So this is something very new, that this force is being used to oppress American citizens that are protesting peacefully.
But basically, Ivo, like the people that was the operatives on the floor from Homeland, they're all ICE, right? I mean,
I don't think so. I think ICE is separate. Oh, you know what? You're right. I think ICE became part of the Homeland Security. It was IRS, remember? No, INS. INS, Immigration and Naturalization Services. INS got absorbed by Homeland Security, and I think you're right. They are ICE.
They're like the same agents that they're gonna get, like people that need to be. But it's just bizarre because it's almost like I read, like, in the beginning of the Nazi party, like, on the early 30s, like Hitler just put a bunch of screws on a streets. If they say hail, you gotta hail. If you don't hail, you get beat up. If you look like a Jew, you get beat up. If you're not a Jew but you look like a Jew, you get beat up too. And it's almost like a no man's land. Like there is no rule.
Fascist world.
Yes.
I'm not sure if they're ICE, but let's just say that they're as cold as ice.
Wow. So like, I'm actually like, I've only heard inklings of this, like, since the stories have come out, and quite honestly, I haven't done the level of investigation that I would feel comfortable talking about it. But just based on what you guys described, holy fuck! Like,
yep.
So people that have been released, what they're saying, sharing their experience, they're treated roughly, arrested, handcuffed, and arrested. Pushed into unmarked rented vans with no windows, driven to a warehouse where they were interrogated. Like, they would be asked about their name, they get their driver's license information, and then they're released before attorneys could get to they're released almost immediately. But they're being intimidated, they're being threatened. Their information obviously has been entered into a database.
And they're also getting pressure to admit to various crimes.
Yes.
Which they're not necessarily committed at all.
Yeah, they shouldn't be talking to them even.
Yeah.
Who are these people? And so it's frightening. It resembles the nationalist party in Germany. You're right, Fernando.
I can't get over the notion that somebody that hasn't identified themselves as an officer is going to come and grab me and like physically restrain me and take me away. Like, I don't even get to the part of it that is disturbing that you guys are talking about. Like, 4 guys on the street coming up and grabbing me. We had the idiots. Well, there are plenty of idiots that just go around killing black folk for no reason. Like, That would be quite possibly one of the most difficult things to conceptualize, and I'm having tremendous difficulty like recognizing that that is my country's government.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of Pinochet and the
Hmm.
junta in
Yeah.
Chile in the
Hmm.
70s. By the way, Jamie is trying to join our podcast.
Oh, gotcha. Hold on. Let me get her.
Um,
Let her get in.
Hi, Jamie.
No, no,
and
no. She's. I got a waiting room, and it's been dinging at me, and I'm like, why is that thing dinging? Because I didn't have my list of participants
Hello.
in there. So that was the problem.
oh,
Hi.
now she's here.
Because I'm an idiot
Oh,
Hi,
and
Jamie.
didn't realize she was trying to join.
she's going upstairs.
Okay.
The video, the like a few videos I've seen of when people are being taken are really like chilling because it's just their friends all around them recording, trying to figure out how to find their friend, trying to figure out why their friend's being taken away. And like the couple that I've seen, they're armed and they're telling them not to follow them or they'll be shot if they follow them to go
To
find
find
them, find their friend. And it's just like, it's just horrifying.
Like, if only bad guys with guns can be stopped with good guys with guns, who are the good guys in the situation? If I'm walking down the street with my family and we are all legitimately like strapped, and five unidentified guys come up and grab me, like, what what are we all supposed to do? Like, this just there's like at a just the instant this thing happens, there's so much that could go wrong. um
we are being forcefully
No, yeah.
divided into
And
two
and
camps.
like untagged cars, like it's pretty crazy. It's almost like, gosh, like feels like it's a perfect scene for you have like, serial murders or other people like playing as them,
mhm.
because that's kind of the new norm. And
Man.
Yeah, it's a sure sign of a dictatorial government. The unmarked vehicles, the unnamed military wearing forces, seizing people, taking them to undisclosed locations. This is the beginning of the end of our democracy, and it should be alarming. Alena today showed me the front cover
Oh gosh,
the front cover of Der Spiegel, the legendary German
yeah,
magazine,
yeah.
Der Spiegel, and the front cover is our president holding in the background. He's in the White House. In the background, the world is burning.
Avo,
Everything,
who is that clown behind you?
uh, that's the guy I'm talking about. The world's
Ah,
burning. The world is burning, and he's holding the match in the
Mhm.
Oval Office, and that's the cover of Der Spiegel. The guy is I don't know. I mean, he's obviously clueless about almost anything in the world. He's anti-science, anti-knowledge, anti-curiosity, anti-democracy, anti-everything. I don't know if he's doing it deliberately, if there's a long-term plan, or it's just instinctual with him.
yeah,
But he's
Mhm.
dividing us violently into two extreme tribes.
yeah,
And and at a time where we needed a unifying force more than ever, we had an agent of chaos and division that came into power and forcefully from the very first speech he had the inauguration speech, he emphasized that he is not going to be the president of everybody in America. He's going to be president of half of America. And this is where we are. The world is burning because of deliberate efforts by these guys. Actually, like I said, I don't know if they're deliberate or instinctual, but the result, nevertheless, is that we are as polarized as ever, and we are the cold civil war that was brewing for a decade or so is now a full-blown civil war.
Mm. Wow. Okay. Sorry to bring it up. I
man.
honestly hadn't didn't have very much insight into it. I've been seeing the news stories, and just don't know what to make of it. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, if this is our last podcast, we'll know that.
I have heard people saying, I mean, people in different larger cities saying, like, the district attorney in Philadelphia at least said that he would bring up any federal agent on charges that unlawfully arrested anyone within the city limits because he's not permitted them to be there.
gotcha.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes. So the governor of Oregon also gave good statements, but people are there like they say that they're getting a hard time, and it's probably he just like getting passed through, like protesters. Like there was a lot of statements that he's just like showing good words for the media, but at the end, like he's allowing that, and we'll see what's gonna happen in Chicago, because in theory the stable genius just sent like a bunch of those nice federal agents to put Chicago in order. So we'll see.
Fernando, I want to remark on your fantastic COVID beard and congratulate you with it. It looks fantastic. You look like a Bolivian revolutionary.
No shit. That's
No
exactly what
shit.
I'm thinking. Hey,
Yeah.
Jamie, are you
Viva
finally with us?
Fidel.
I am.
Good deal. Good deal. For some reason today, everybody's audio is taking like 5 minutes to connect. So glad that you can join us.
I can hear 100% here.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Must be my speaker.
Yeah, your audio sounds great. My guess is Jamie was downstairs with us for a few minutes to concoct a fantastic cocktail, and now he's enjoying it while contributing to the podcast.
Good
It
deal.
might have been a better cocktail had there been something to make my cocktail with.
There was vodka in the fridge, I think I told you. There's just not lemon.
Yeah.
I love your background, your Zoom background, Jamie. Is for the listener at home. It's that cannot see the Zoom version of the podcast. Jamie has a background that's the Brady Bunch, with the middle square of the Brady Bunch opening sequence empty, and she is in the middle, where usually
Which one is there?
Which one is usually there? Is it the patient?
The housekeeper, Alice.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, and that's kind of appropriate, isn't it, Jamie?
Well, it might not be appropriate. I kind of let the house go to hell, so I don't think I would be the housekeeper Alice in this scenario.
The vacuum is in the bedroom, by the way.
So this is the perfect transition to my next question. Like, how serious is your lawn? Like, are you guys taking care of your lawn in the age of COVID? Has that still remained?
Our lawn has zero sense of humor. It's it's deadly serious, unfortunately. Yeah.
You know, I tried early on. We did some rocking, got some new rocks. I did some plantings, but I'm highly allergic to the bad things in the yard, and the poison ivy really doesn't believe in droughts, and it doesn't really believe in weed killer.
Right.
In fact, it laughs at us in the face of anything that might cause cancer that should kill it, and the leaves are bigger than Eva's face.
And I've seen you, like, when like poison ivy is just like in the neighborhood, you kind of like suffer all the effects. So yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Not in our neighborhood, like in another state, you know.
So now I have some beautiful elephant ears surrounded by massive amounts of poison ivy. I've got some hostas surrounded by massive amounts of poison ivy. And some nice rock gardens surrounded by massive amounts of poison ivy. But
I understand.
It is what it is.
Gotcha. Fernando, can I share your information with our podcast family that you shared with me before?
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah. You just bought it. You just closed on a new house, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wait. You're moving out from the downtown house?
Yeah, dude, I'm sick of here.
Really?
The neighbors
Is it too much work or what?
No, it's just like, I mean,
There was a
the,
ghost.
the house is good, but I mean, it sucks at the same time. You cannot do anything. You know, you can't paint a wall. Neighbors are too loud.
Yeah.
You know, and
College
we got like
students.
a good spot, and it will be kind of fun. It's more like a recluse, but not too far from downtown. It's super close to campus. It's a block from the high school. It's like 17 and Tennessee.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's the across the street was the house of the creator of basketball. He lived there once upon a time.
Oh wait, I know that house. And actually, that house was for sale for a while, where James Naismith lived. When
Yeah, but it's across the street. Yeah.
yeah, wow, that's a nice spot. So you're moving kind of close to where you used to be. Not
Well, not really, Ivo. Like very close to be where you are, but I mean, it's slightly. I'm kind of 10 blocks away.
okay, that's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
you know,
for
it's 17 in Tennessee.
You're
when's
coming,
moving day?
right?
I don't know. I'll call you guys.
Definitely give us a
Well,
call.
yeah,
I mean,
I
I
think
will
it'll
be
be.
there in a mask and gloves, but yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
think it'll
Fernando,
be
we
like
owe you. You moved a piano for us, like a 5,000-pound piano.
Gosh,
So
did I
we
tell the
owe you.
okay? We gotta put that on the record. So the funny part, like I think I was having a few drinks. The call was kind of weird. Oh, Fernando, help me with this. I didn't get the details to move a piano.
Yeah.
When I saw the piano, I say, "Holy crap!"
It wasn't a big piano. It was
It's heavy.
it's
It's just upright.
upright piano, but yeah, it's still heavy. Well, we had a lot of people, thank God. And the other thing that helped was there weren't many stairs. There were like 5 stairs, but man.
I don't recall a lot of people moving that piano. In my head, it was you and Fernando.
No,
Matt-
who called up,
Did Matt came over too? Lou was there.
yeah, and
Oh, okay.
I think who was the guy that worked at the IT at the time? Not Matt.
Boone.
Boone showed.
Boone.
Yeah.
Did Boone was there? Like he was already gone big time. Maybe. I don't remember,
Oh.
dude. I just remember how hilarious it was. Like I didn't get details. Holy shit, it's a piano.
Yeah. Boone showed up, and the move succeeded because of his brute physical power.
That's it. That's
Um,
what we say about Boone.
So to reiterate, the house was haunted, the house you lived in, or at least you told us some stories when we were there once for dinner that it was haunted, right? So,
Well,
there's some weird sounds you said, or
there is weird sounds, but I think probably Jennifer was talking more like there was some crazy stuff on the other house that she came from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm okay. I mean, it's not like what's the movie that they have the what's
Poltergeist?
No, newer that now already has probably 4 sequels.
Great Day in the Morning. Now I can't think of the name of that movie.
It's kind of good. The first one.
Mhm. It's low budget and it's like all like handheld cameras.
Paranormal.
Yeah, and
paranormal.
Paranormal Activity. Yeah.
That's it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's not on that level. I didn't put like flour on the floor to see if they leave tracks.
Mhm.
Nobody got. Yeah, so doesn't bother me.
Jamie
I'm okay with that.
She sees a ghost in our house.
Lewis saw the ghost in our
I
house.
did. I 100% did. Like,
You
and
saw it?
I not only did I see it, Evo, I had seen it so many times, I didn't think about the fact that like there was this
Oh.
other person that was at your house that like was just kind of there all the time. And so, Fernando, I don't know if you know this story. One day, Jamie says, "Where's the broom? I just had the broom," and I said, "The guy just took it into the other room." And Jamie's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
The guy.
Yeah, I don't know his name. He's
Jamie's
just
like, there's no guy that ever touches a broom in this house.
He was just wearing black and he was a little pale.
yeah.
You know what? It was probably my ghost. Maybe our house would be the first house that's haunted, not by somebody that was killed in the house, but by somebody that's going to be killed in the house.
But Jamie went into the other room and the broom was there. So that's like all I gotta say. So
Who got the broom?
The dude, I don't know what his
The
name
guy?
is. Yeah.
The dude that lives in the attic.
The
Oh my
dude.
God.
The dude. And Fernando, here's what the dude used to do. When the children would go to Bulgaria in the summertime, I would go to work and I would come home, and in our hearth room, in the room that's by just off the kitchen area, there would be a pile of the children's toys in the middle.
Wow.
Every day they were gone in Bulgaria. I would go put them all away, and then they would be laying there again. And so for a minute, I thought maybe the dog's doing it, right? So then I would put them away on high shelves, so there was no way that the dog could get to them, and the high shelf toys would return to the middle of the room. And it happened for years.
Wow.
Until the kids grew up and didn't have toys, actually, or didn't go to Bulgaria.
So-
Think you might like sleepwalk?
Well, but I would go to work, the toys would not be there. I would come home from work and the toys would be there. So it's not like I would go to sleep and wake up. I mean, I was gone out of the house.
Yeah.
It's either a child, those two creepy kids from The Shining, or maybe Michael Jackson, or I don't know. I mean, who's messing with toys?
The person that took my broom.
Yeah.
You know, like my uncle in Brazil, like he kind of demonized like his aunts. So back in the day, country, small towns. So usually even they leave the house, and so he knew that they were gone. So he jump on a window and go there and flip every like portrait and picture upside down.
Oh, wow.
Just to terrorize them. But I mean, in that case, I mean, yeah, you have the ghost there. But yes,
I'm sure of it.
We watched a really mean movie with Jamie. I think it was called The Lodge or The Cottage.
Oh, I saw that.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
It was this woman that was watching these two kids in a cabin.
She's like their stepmom to be.
Stepmom to be, and they pulled the cruelest prank on her, where they actually had printed out fake newspapers where the article said that they're dead, that they were killed in a fire.
wow.
And they freaked out the woman that they're not alive, that nobody knows they're there in the house
They
anymore.
turned off the electricity.
They turned off the electricity, and they showed her the newspaper saying, "Oh my God, we must have been, we're probably ghosts. We are ghosts because look, the newspaper says we died in a fire, all three of us." And the
Wow.
mind little by little, they pulled prank after
I
prank.
love these kids. This is the most brilliant thing I've ever heard.
Ever, right?
It's like it's my childhood.
Yeah, yeah,
That's some forward-thinking pranking right there.
Love it.
yeah.
Love it.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't know how we ended up talking about ghosts. We were talking about Fernando's house, and then
Yeah. Oh, so have you had your house checked for signs of the occult or supernatural, Mr. Fernando?
No, that's it's too expensive. So let's see. Let's move and see what happens.
Just wait and see. Fair enough. So I don't know. Were you a fanatical lawn owner, a lawn care guy at your old house? Your old house you owned?
Well, not really. Like I just try to make look okay, and but lately I'm just a renter, so I don't need to concern on that. New house, not much to worry. But you gotta take care. I think it's good to keep not paranoid. Just make sure it's a little, not too wild.
So, and this is ultimately why I was curious about this. Like, I've been to Bulgaria. Granted, it was almost it was over 15 years ago at this point. But lawns did not seem to be that significant there, at least in Sofia then. Is it still that way?
no, it's people live in apartments there, and they're taking much better care of the front of the apartments. But really in the country, I've seen a lot of change lately. In the country, in the small towns and villages, people are really manicuring their lawns, but it's not like here.
Right.
I mean, here there's city ordinances and neighborhood association requirements. And if you let the grass grow too long, you're gonna get fined and all that stuff. And also, just I feel like neighbors in our neighborhood, at least, will probably look at us a little bit with an evil eye if we completely abandon the front lawn. We have quite a
It's
big
paranoia.
yeah, we have quite a big front lawn, and it's there's really grass is not an issue because dandelions have taken over that and have consumed the. I mean, looks like they're really predatory weeds have taken over.
Well, and clover.
Clover, yes, clover. And so I cut the lawn, once a week. It grows, as you know, now it's very humid and it grows real fast. Jamie has done a good job planting elephant ears that look beautiful. We have some flowers. We have a flower bed, and we have a lawn sign that says, it's a election sign and says, any functioning adult 2020, which is enjoying. It's popular sign. People walk by and take pictures. And then on both sides, we have kind of meticulous people, the neighbors, that take really good care, much better than us, of their lawns. So, we might have to do something and probably reseed with actual grass and do all that stuff. We have large trees that destroy me every fall because we have black walnut trees and they rain black walnut havoc every fall. I'm talking hundreds of pounds of walnuts who smash on the ground and painted black, and it's a nightmare, and you have to collect them. I have a walnut picker and all that stuff. The backyard, it looks a lot like, if you don't take care of it for a week, it looks a lot like equatorial jungle. Like immediately, it just takes over. Bizarre plants pop up. Right now, I'm looking at it. I've abandoned it for about a week. We have a basketball court which you can barely see. It's been consumed by plant life. So.
I think that stuff looks kind of cool. Like, I think if I had I think if I had my own home and my own yard and the ability to not get in trouble but from anyone in terms of how my yard was kept, I would just let it go.
If you
because I think it looks cool, and I don't think it hurts anybody. It being like, I don't think either way it matters. Like, it's just plans.
That's
They're
how
not,
she sees things. It's constant
I don't
work.
know why that's negative.
It's constant work, and it's a lot of work. Otherwise, vegetation and nature take over. They will take over. They'll destroy your house, the foundation, everything. It's a constant struggle, constant fight. If you cut your grass and find a couple of old cars, you might be a redneck. I remember that joke from Jeff Foxworthy.
All I can focus on right now is Black Walnut Havoc.
Oh,
great name.
Yes, you're right. Black Walnut Havoc. Oh my God, you're so right.
Yes. So very, very cool. No, I was just kidding. Oh, I didn't ask for. Well, I was meaning to throw it to you, Fernando. Are well manicured lawns a part of living in Sao Paulo?
Oh no, there was zero lawn there. Like, the house is so small, it's like apartment that they call house.
Yeah.
Because they cannot build anything on top. So basically, we have plants, but just plants. There was not a really available piece of soil. Other hand, some people, I had an aunt with like a big yard and she take care of the stuff, but it's definitely not a thing. I don't know even if there is a seed code, because most of the people don't really have. And it's weird, right? I mean, but we're talking about Sao Paulo.
I'm sure there's acres and acres of hydroponic lawns in Sao Paulo.
Yeah. But yeah, weird. It's like, it's just concrete there, like at least where I was.
Right.
And even, my grandpa had like a big, like a building. And once he built like first built in the neighborhood, was a 2-floor he put for all his family, my great grandpa. He put like 6 apartments. There was a side yard with a little bit of grass, and he cut with, just a clipper or whatever, like but he had like his small garden, and there was fresh salads and stuff, and big tree. But I don't recall ever like and they have a lot of codes there too, but nothing like, there is not that standardization about everybody have a yard here. It's pretty funny.
Right.
Like, there is not that rush. People, like my uncle has a land, like if you remember my backyard, you multiply by 10, is on a hill.
Right.
He doesn't have a land mower, I guess. He does by hand. Like, say, are you crazy? Like, say, how can you do that? Like, if I was him, I would sell my car and buy a mower, because, and it's his thing, and he cut everything, and the trees are in shape, and you have banana tree and guava tree and garden and papaya, and it's giant.
That sounds
Just
like the life.
Yeah, I don't know. I told him, I said, dude, there is easier ways to do what you do.
Sao Paulo is probably like Hong Kong, it's like a concrete jungle. It's one of the biggest cities in the world, and there's no space. Everything goes vertical, and if there is any kind of vegetation, it's probably on the rooftops that people would make probably a garden or a balcony or something.
Yeah, and it's so uneven. People doesn't care, because usually, every house is like gated. They have walls.
Yeah.
So, some people, they have their yard, but they do whatever they want. Like it's not a thing. Usually, the front is not visible. It's such a different like geography. Like you look the architecture, like the it's different.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, guys, we have been at this for almost exactly an hour, and I've got a bunch of other questions. None of them really important. Nothing that we've talked about today is really important. So before I close up, is there anything that you guys wanted to throw out to the rest of the podcast group?
Not really. I mean, I'm trying to think of anything exciting in the world of art or music or movies or television, but really there hasn't been anything significant. Obviously, I was worried. I talked to Alena yesterday and Jamie that next year, to 2021, we are probably looking at a very large gap of a void, a massive void of no television and no movies. Because nothing was produced this year. Nothing was filmed. Everything was shelved, and people were not working in the industry. So right now we are getting some stuff that was made last year, but next year is going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm making a note now. Ivo is saying that if a porn company gets started this year, to hold on to your footage until next year.
Yes, definitely. You said 6 months.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys. This is always fun for me. I hope you guys are enjoying it too. I think we might have 2 listeners now. So I'm going to say to our 2 listeners, thank you for tuning in. By the time you see this, there will be actual videos of like our last 4 episodes that go along with the actual audio podcast. And I hope that you guys enjoy them.